Welcome to Great Neighborhood Cooks. I'm your host, Rob Kircher. Each week I'm going to be knocking on the doors of amazing cooks who live down the street or around the corner. Who knows, maybe from your own neighborhood. For the most part, they're unsung cooks known mainly to their family and friends. Or they might be cooks from that great little hideaway restaurant that we love to discover. Either way, their relative obscurity is about to change as I bring them into the spotlight. So who will be the next discovered great neighborhood cook? Well, stay tuned to find out. Well, we're back from the break and we're going to catch up with Sherry again. So you're doing what now, Sherry?
So I'm going to make an apple nut cake. This is either Dave's Granny Clara or his great granny, Granny Gussie's recipe. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one that's kind of a depression cake. It's made with oil. It asks for vegetable oil. But I'm going to use mostly the vegetable oil, but I'm going to substitute some of that for butter. So it's always better with butter. So the recipe says 3 to 4 cups of apples. I always think that more is better. So I'm going to put at least 4 in. And so finishing up this last apple. Usually a tartar apple is better with this.
And you don't peel the apple.
I don't. I mean, when I started cooking, this was back in the, when I started cooking with more finesse, we'll call it that way, was back in the early 70s. And at that point, you didn't peel your apples. I mean, that's kind of why I even made this cake, because it's got fresh pecans, it's got fresh apples, it's eggs. You ignore the fact that it's sugar, and I use organic sugar to make me feel better about it, and then this is unbleached flour. So, you know, you're eating these sweets and have convinced myself that it's not so bad for you. So, I'm just gonna, You
hand break them, right? Yeah.
I hand break them, I always have. I suppose when I started making this, I wasn't very good with a knife. And I like it rustic. It's a rustic cake. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. I'm just going to use about 3/4 of a cup of canola, and then 1/2 cup of butter, which has, as you can see, I've been sitting out, so it's room temperature. I forgot to put the sugar in. This is organic sugar, and it's about 1 cup. The recipe calls for 2 cups. It's about 1 cup and 3/4. Just cut down so it's not quite so sweet. But the apples, it's pretty sweet.
Well, Sherry, talk to us about your brown eggs.
Well, I use brown eggs most of the time when I can get them. The recipe calls for 3 eggs, but these are, they call them large, but by today's standards, by old standards, they're actually small, so I use 4.
I think so.
Thank you. So I have, Granny Clara told me that you need to beat the eggs a lot, so I do. That's probably good enough. All right, so then, so then we'll add the flour. I forgot the vanilla. No, this is double, it's vanilla. And so this is double strength. And I use a little bit more than a tablespoon. scrape everything off to make sure it all gets down in there.
Yeah.
Okay, then the apples,
Oh, boy.
the 4 cups of apples.
That's a wallet, huh?
Yep. And the pecans. And just okay,
Yum.
done.
Yum, yum.
So I've prepared this is a bundt pan. We were just discussing this earlier. I've probably had it 40 years. So this flour, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but it's got a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon and a half of soda. So it's the eggs, really.
Do you frost this cake or just eat it by itself?
It has a caramel, or caramel, however you want to pronounce it, icing. And I put coarse salt on it, which was not part of the recipe, but
You use a toothpick?
yes. Yeah, I use the toothpick
I'm in your way.
method.
I'm in your
No,
way.
it's all right. Okay, let's put the cake in the center of the oven. And we'll set the timer for about 55 minutes.
Where can you explore the ice of the Arctic, become an engineer and test your designs, or create a masterpiece from your imagination? The Children's Museum of Naples, that's where. Come On is a brain-building powerhouse, fueled by STEAM-based activities and experiences for children of all ages. Join us today as you play, learn, and dream together with your family. The Children's Museum on Livingston Road in Naples.
I'm here with Francis J. Cuomo. He's the owner of the Romas Gourmet Market. And Francis, every time I come in here, it's just bustling with activity. I love it.
Thank God. That's why we're here. We're here to feed people.
How many people do you get on a daily basis?
Well, it depends. You know, certain times of the year, like now, we average around 3,000 people a day on a Saturday and a Friday. Sundays we close a little early at 6, and we average around 1,500 to 1,800 people a day on a Saturday. So it just keeps growing.
And people
the
love-
restaurant yesterday, about 1,100 people.
Really?
In the restaurant
Wonderful,
alone.
wonderful.
That's not including that.
Well, you
So
know,
we're very
you've got
blessed.
that magic going for here.
Yeah.
You know, you really do. It's the sight, the sound, the aroma, everything that
Yes.
that you're so well known for.
I give God the credit. He gave me the energy and the foresight.
So, folks, if you really want to have a gourmet experience, you want to come to the Romas Gourmet Market in Bonita Springs, and it's Little Italy right here in
Southwest Florida,
Southwest Florida.
our own creation.
I've been suffering from hearing loss as long as I can remember. It used to be I couldn't hear people in crowded rooms. Now I can't hear people in any situation anywhere. That's severe. Finally, I decided to do something about it, and I went to Beltone 5-Star Hearing.
I've been in this industry since 1972, and helping Rob was a wonderful thing. I wear the same hearing aids, and I'm excited about how much they help me. You get service, and there's 1,600 facilities in the country, and there's a Beltone nearest you. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call your local Beltone dealer for service. And that's what hearing aids are all about. They need service after you purchase them.
Just come see us. It's free just to have an evaluation.
These hearing aids that I just love them. I absolutely love them. At the Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant, they do things differently. They do it the authentic way. For example, why is their fresh homemade mozzarella the best you've ever tasted? Well, take a look at this. Well, it's because it's made slowly and lovingly, the way it's been produced for generations. It's the same with their incredible custom blended Roma wines. They go hand in hand. The art is in the pairing, like everything else thoughtfully prepared at the Roma's Gourmet Market and Restaurant. It's Little Italy at the Promenade in Bonita Springs.